Hello students, welcome to today's session. This is Sweta Roy, your English Master Teacher at Vedantu. And today we are going to start with a wonderful chapter, two stories about flying, in which we are going to deal with the very first story. Right, so which is from your CBSE Class 10 book. So let's start off with our session today without further ado. So yes, as I told you that we are going to start with the very first chapter, first part of the two stories of flying, which is First Flight, right? And this is by Liam O'Flaherty. Liam O'Flaherty is an Irish novelist, and he's one of the foremost socialist writers in the first part of the 20th century. All right. So moving further, as I told you that this session is going to be dealing with the story The First Flight, and along with that it's also going to cover the important question and answers related to the very first session of the story. Right guys, so let's enjoy the story together, and also let's learn some important message, the important message that the story wants to convey to all the readers, and inculcate that in our lives as well. So yes, let us begin our session with a wonderful quote and quite relevant to this particular topic that we are going to study for today. It is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves that will make them successful human beings. Right, guys? So, our parents always try to make us self reliant, self confident. Isn't it so, guys? So, when you actually see, you have just now done Mrs. Pumphrey's chapter that deals with Tricky and how she became overindulgent. She always used to pamper a lot. So that was not recommended, right? What is recommended is we need to discipline our children, and of course, what they do is they always try to make us self-confident and self-reliant. So think about your school days and think about your childhood days. How your mother used to teach you how to ride a bicycle, how your parents used to try and keep telling you to tie your shoelace on your own. Don't you think that they could have done that for you? Of course, they could have done that. But why did they insist on you doing your own stuff? Of course, because they wanted to make you self-reliant and self-confident. Because parents are not going to stay with us forever. Why do you think our parents always want us to, stand up on our feet and be independent? They could also feed us, just like they are doing so now, right? It's only because they know that we are not going to stay with our children forever, and they want us to become self reliant, confident enough to face the world. So, similar is the topic for today, and that is the theme of the lesson that we are going to study today, right? So, in order to become successful, we need to become self reliant. So, this was about the human world. So, now let us travel into the world of seagulls, right? So yes, so his first flight. So flight resembles what? Of course, the flying, and flying is equivalent to birds. So when we think about flying, we think about birds, right? And flying gives you what? Freedom, definitely. So the lesson is actually two stories about flying, right? So yes, in both the stories there is something equivalent to flying, and the first story is about the seagull family, right? So what is all about his first flight? Let us see. So it's about a seagull family where there were where there is the parents, the mother and the father seagull, along with the children. How many children? Three brothers and one sister, right? And the youngest seagull was very afraid to fly. He was alone on his ledge. His ridge is ledge, okay, the place where he was living. His parents and siblings had already flown away the day before, right? So his parents and siblings, they all knew how to fly, right? And they had flown away. And this young seagull, who was very afraid to fly because he still did not learn flying, right? So he was alone on the ledge. He was afraid to fly. The sea terrified the young seagull. So whenever he actually tried to go to the He went near the ledge and he looked down and he saw the vast expanse of sea. He tried and flapping his wings, but whenever he saw that, a vast expanse of sea just before him, he couldn't gather the courage, couldn't master the courage. He thought that his wings are not going to support him. Although his siblings, they learned how to fly very easily, right? But still, this young seagull could not muster up the courage to fly. He stayed. So then his parents, as I told you about self-reliance, right? So his parents obviously wanted, they could definitely feed him, right? As our parents already, they also know how to feed us. Of course, they can do it, right? But they know that we need to learn to collect, we need to learn to be self-independent, self-dependent and self-reliant. And therefore, they always try to educate us and see that we get a good job so that we can earn our own living. Why do you think they do so? Similarly, in the young seagull's family, the seagull, the parents wanted the young seagull to take, to muster up the courage to fly. So if only if he could, fly on his own, if he could learn to fly, he would be able to gather his own food. So long he was completely dependent on his family for his food, right? But the parents did not want that, just as all our parents. They always want our good, right? Similar was the case of the seagull's parents. They cared for the seagull. So what did they do? First, they started to upbraid him, scold him, threatened him. But no matter what they did, this young seagull could not muster up the courage to take his first flight. So finally, they thought to leave him alone and make him starve, right? So long they were feeding him, but now they thought that if we do not make him starve, then of course he will never learn to fly, right? So now he was staying 24 hours without food. He was feeling the heat because of starvation. He was almost starving because no one was giving him food. Question, guys. Why were his parents coaxing him to fly? Now, what is the meaning of the word coaxing? Coaxing is cajoling. Right? Now, what is cajoling? So, cajoling means when you are forcing someone, okay? Forcing someone in a not very rude manner, but continuously you are trying to do that, right? So, please do give me the answer in the chat box right away. So, he saw his mother standing on a rock. So, what happened was, next, what happened? This young seagull who was, afraid to fly, and he was also starving. What did he do? He came out of his ledge where his home was, and he was, trying to see what the other members were doing. And he also trying to get the attention of the other family members so that they see him and they do something for him, because he was almost starving. He was mad with hunger, right? So he was standing there, one with one feet and the other behind his wing, and with one eye closed, he pretended to fall asleep. So he thought that if I pretend to do so, maybe the other members would observe me. But what did he see when he was pretending to fall asleep? He saw that all the others were involved in their activities. His siblings, they were flying, and his brother caught his first herring, right? Herring is a fish. And the parents, they were perfecting the art of flying of their children, and his father was preening. Now, what is preening? Preening is, cleaning the feathers. The birds, they involve themselves in this activity called preening when they clean up their feathers, right? And his mother was only looking at him. Nobody else was looking at him. They were all concerned with their activities, right? Only his mother was looking at him. And what did she do? She was steering. She had a fish on her feet, and she was steering that. She was involved with that fish, and looking at that, this young seagull was maddened because he was almost hungry. He was very hungry, right? So what happened next? He cried. He begged her to bring some food because he was seeing that piece of fish, right? And then his mother did not pay any heed. But what did she do? She flew very close to him. when she was flying very close to him, what would be the reaction? Tell me, guys, what do you think would be the reaction when suppose you are very hungry? You just empathize with the seagull, right? Put yourself in the place of seagull and think that you are, 24 hours you had not eaten anything. You are mad with hunger, right? And at the same time, you see your mother, with food, and she's flying very close to you. Obvious expectation would be you would be overjoyed because you expect that my mother is now going to feed me, right? But did that happen in case of this young seagull? Let's see. But first, give me the answer, guys. Why did the young seagull pretend to sleep? Question number one. Next question is, what did he observe while sleeping? So mention the answers of these two questions right away in the chat box below. Quickly, 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 I'm waiting for you. Alright, I hope you have given your answers. And now, actually, I discussed both the answers, and both the answers are very, very, very important. This can come up in your, question paper as well, right? So let's see what happened next. His mother had picked up the fish, and he was flying across him, right? So as I told you, so what would be the usual normal expectation? Overjoyed, right? Expectation that okay, now I will get some food after 24 long hours, right? But did that happen? Let's see. He leaned out. She halted. She stopped there. She flew very close to him, but she stopped there, right? What was happening? So he couldn't understand anything. He thought that my mother is not bringing the food to me. She's flying very close, but she is not giving the food. What is happening? Now it was, he could not take it anymore. And he dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space because he had not learned how to fly. So this was his first flight, right? And what did he think? He thought now it's over, right? Because he did not know how to fly, right? And of course, he tried earlier, but he flapped his wings, but he could never succeed. He could never muster up the courage because he saw that sea beneath his place, and he saw that he thought that I am going to drown. So now same was his condition mentally. He thought that okay, now it's gone forever. I'm gone forever, right? But what happened? The next moment, he felt his wings spread outwards. Amazing, because he was after all a bird, and birds are meant to fly. So what happened? He spread his wings, and it was just a stimulus response kind of situation, right? He did not fall anymore. He started to fly. So that was his first flight. His wings started to cut the air, and he gradually spread his wings, and his wings, which he thought would not support, rather supported him, right? And he learned the art of flying. He was not falling headlong now, and he was also no longer afraid. So think about the time when a baby starts to walk, right? When he walks, he takes the first step, he is so afraid, isn't it? Don't you think the babies are afraid? Of course they know. We all are born with our legs, and we all know that we will walk one day. But think about the first step that you ever took. I know you won't remember, but ask your parents. Were you not afraid? You always try to seek for any support that you can, right? Similarly, the seagull, the birds are meant to fly. So of course they would learn to fly. So when you took the first step and when you were successful in that, think of the happiness. You always wanted to walk after that, right? Similar was the case of the young seagull. When the moment he understood that his wings are supporting him, and he understood that he had learned flying, he gained the confidence, and he never was afraid. He was no longer afraid. And then he saw his family, and finally he also landed on the sea, right? That particular sea, seeing which he was so afraid and thought I would never learn to fly and never learn to swim. Then he saw his family also landing on the green flooring of the ocean, and they were beckoning him. They were celebrating his first flight, right? How did the seagull overcome his fear and manage to fly? A very, very, very important question, guys. Please do mention right away in the chat box. a very important question, guys. Again and again, I'm repeating. Okay, so let me write here important. Otherwise, you will take it very lightly. I don't want you to take it light. Yeah, sorry for the delay. Okay, so this is very, very, very important, right? Please, please, please take this question seriously. All right. Moving ahead, he dropped his legs to stand on the ocean. His legs sank into it, and then his belly touched it, and he sank no further. He was floating on it. So finally, he landed on the sea, and he learned how to float on it. He learned how to swim. So not only fly, but also swim, because the seagulls are meant for that, right? So this was the story, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the story a lot. And now we would move ahead with the question answer of this story. But before doing that, guys, tell me how many of you are facing, since your problems, since your exams are approaching very near to you, round the corner. So I think we have conducted a survey, and we came out with so many problems, so many hurdles that the students are facing when it comes to education. So first is, there are so many doubts which you do not, you do not have the possible, the reliable source of your doubt solving. Notes, you're not getting proper notes. Tests and assignments also is a major problem, right? So even if you have assignments and tests, you do not have the clarity to how to solve it, because you have so many doubts already. Competitive exams you want to crack, but you do not have the guidance for that. Choice of schedule, choice of language being the other major issues. So guys, do not worry about the problems anymore, because we have the solution to all your problems. So doubts, you are no longer going to face any doubts, because we have master teachers, and class teachers are specifically, this team is specifically catering to your doubts along with the master teachers, obviously, right? So with one subscription, you are going to get all the problems solved, because notes you are going to get after each session, assignment after each session, tests we do conduct. We also give the performance report of that test. So revision, which is so long, it's an issue right now, because of the major problems that you face. You do not find proper revision papers. So we in our platform also have 200 plus mock test papers for your need, right? So revision, which is so important for scoring more than 90% in your exam, is very, very, very structurally done in our platform, guys. Competitive exams, various Olympiads and various competitive exams are also taken care of in our platform, guys. Choice of schedule, completely on you. Choice of language, we have that option as well. So isn't that amazing, guys? We also have some amazing bonus features in terms of micro course and crash course. So as I told you, that when you are enrolled in this, when you take this subscription, you are of course enrolled in the long-term batch, where you're structurally the school it's in sync with the school curriculum. So completely in sync and completely structural format is there. You have tests, you have assignments, notes after each and every session. But after getting the performance report, if you think that I need a revision in this particular chapter, so that gap is also being filled by the micro course, which provides you chapter wise solution. That means it takes care of each and every chapter, guys. And crash course makes the revision very, very, very easy. So entire syllabus is revised in the crash course. And of course, I talked about the performance report, so you can analyze yourselves where you are standing with the help of the performance report. And of course, you have personalized attention, which is not possible in YouTube, right? So what you need to visit is, just visit this link, tkvdnt.in/ytpro, and you will get these options. Choose your grade, choose your code. Then you check out the details. So you have selected your grade and board, so 10 CBSE. Then check out the details. Whatever I have mentioned, please tally it with this, right? You will find everything in detail. If you are satisfied, then you need to click on get subscription. All right. So once you click on get subscription, then you will see 3 avenues open before you. 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. So again, it is very flexible. You choose whatever subscription you want to, but I would recommend the 6 months wala subscription. Why? I will tell you, because the amount that you pay for the 6 month subscription is 9774 after applying the coupon code, right? So if you calculate, you will see for each class you are not even paying 10 rupees, guys. Less than 10 rupee, which is, I think, it is definitely even cheaper than a packet of Lays, right? So that is what is makes our platform reasonable. I would also say, I would like to use the word inexpensive, right, rather than reasonable, right? Because when you actually take coaching on extra classes for other subjects, you get 2 or 3 subjects, you have to pay so much more, right? But here, balancing of all the subjects is done very properly, very structurally, and this is something which makes the students score more than 90% in the exam, because all over aggregate can only improve only and only if you balance out all the subjects in your school. So yes, we provide you with all the subjects: English, maths, physics, chemistry, biology, social science, and with all the amazing features that just now I have explained. And in what is the cost for that? 9 to 10 rupee per class, not more than that. Isn't that great, guys? Isn't that a great opportunity for all of you to avail? So do not miss this opportunity, and yes, give us the opportunity to give you the best, to provide you the best, and take you holding your hand to the top. So if you take the 1 month subscription, what happens is, if you take for each month you are paying, right? So you end up paying more than what you pay for the 6 months all at once, right? So that is why I am telling you that 6 months is more cost effective. Anyways, if you are not very certain, you can also go for 1 month or 6 months. But 3 months, 6 month duration is a standard duration, so that is highly recommended, right? And what you need to do is just visit this link, use the coupon code SWREPRO. ठीक है बच्चा लोग? So this is the coupon code for English channel SWREPRO, which is going to give you 15% off. Isn't that great? Okay, so now we will start with the question answer session. So the very first question answer is, yes, significance of the title, His First Flight. So let us have a look. So whenever there is a title question, what did I tell you? That you need to relate it with the theme, right? So definitely you need to talk about the theme of the lesson whenever you are talking about the title. So in the very beginning of the session, I actually explained you about the theme as well. So let us see. So His First Flight definitely is written by Liam O'Flaherty. So His First Flight is the title. His First Flight, that is the title, right? And written by Liam O'Flaherty. Please mention this detail very clearly at the very beginning of your answer. And then you start with, you need to mention the story in brief, right? That the story is about a seagull who is afraid of flying. He's afraid that his wings would not support him and he would get drowned in the sea. And what did his parents do? They tried to encourage, first of all, they tried to threaten him, they tried to, upbraid him, scold him, threaten him. But when nothing worked, finally he was left alone, hungry, right? Starving. And then what happened with how did his mother help him to take his first flight? Right? So his mother used the food as a bait to compel the seagull to fly, right? And unable to bear the, a seagull took his first flight. So definitely you need to talk about the point of self-reliance and self-confidence, right? Which his parents wanted to instill, right? Which his parents wanted instill. And that is exactly why they coaxed him, cajoled him to take his first flight, right? So this is basically the theme of the story, which you need to mention when you are also mentioning the title, right? As I told you. So the theme is interrelated with this title. So his first flight is definitely the title of the story is just justified when the young seagull was unable to overcome his fear of flight and took the first flight of his life. So this is the first flight, and definitely I'm telling you again and again, mention self-confidence, self-reliant, and mention the fact that why did his parents coax him to fly. Okay, so that is the answer for the title question, and if the thematic question is asked, the answer would be the same. Just make a little bit of modification in the introduction and relate the introductory part to the question that has been asked to you. Moving ahead to the next question. Why was the young seagull left alone in the ledge by his family? Very, very, very important. The young seagull was afraid to fly and his parents wanted him to fly with them, right? But whenever he had taken a little run forward the extreme edge of the ledge and tried to move his wings, he became afraid, right? He failed to muster up the courage to thrust himself forcibly in the space and start flying. Okay, so the young seagull somehow thought that his wings would not support him. For this, he was scolded by his parents, who gave also a threat when he was left alone. So, for this reason, he was left alone at the ledge, and he was also not given food. Next question, guys. How did the young seagull learn floating on the sea? Which is again a very important question for all of you. So, let's see how to approach this question. After flying for some time, the young seagull came near the sea. He was flying straight over it. He saw the vast green sea beneath him with little ridges moving over it. His brothers and sisters had landed on the sea and they were calling in a shrill voice and beckoning to him. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into water. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. So look at the description that has been given. You need to be a little descriptive when the question which is asking you how did he learn to swim in the sea, that is asked. And whenever it's asked about how he learned to fly, you need to be very descriptive and you need to give textual evidences to support your answer. So that is what is very important, to be thorough with the text, right? So please give the necessary description just as it is given over here. But he tried. He was tired and weak with hunger. He was exhausted due to flying for so long. His feet sank into the green sea and then his belly touched it and he sank no further. He was floating on it. Around him, his family was screaming, praising, and offering him food from their wings. And this is what food did they offer him? How did they celebrate? So this is basically the celebration part. Okay, celebrating his first flight. Okay, so this question can also come, how did his family celebrate his first flight? So everyone was around him, screaming him, praising him, offering him food. What kind of food? Scraps of dogfish. Please mention this. Okay, this was the food offered to him in celebration, right? So please mention this fact because this is important. So these little bit of facts from the text would definitely make a good impression on the examiner that, okay, you have studied the text properly and not just writing and making up your answer on your own wish. So this is very important, guys. All the questions which are taken from the text, especially, needs textual evidences, guys. I'm repeating myself. Every question which is a fact-based or direct text-based question, you are expected to give proper textual evidence with proper information. So information such as scraps of dogfish, information such as a detailed analysis of how did he finally learn to swim in the sea, right? So that is something which you need to take care of. The title part and theme part you can make up definitely, but these are portions, the questions asked directly from text where you need to be thorough with the text, right? And be as much detailed as possible in your answer. That is exactly what will help you to score higher marks than the others who have just made up whatever they want, right? So that's why it's important not to just read the summary and go. Please read the text properly, then watch the videos, and then look at the question answers from the videos, right? Please do this. And this is the homework question, guys. Do you think that the seagull's family loved him? Justify their attitude towards him. So this is a question which is, a thematic question, and this is a question which you can make on your own. but the previous question was direct text question. So there are, these type of questions can come, mixed questions can come. So definitely being thorough with the text. I repeat this in my every session, I guess. That is very important thing. ठीक है बच्चा? So I want all of you to actually put your comments in the, homework question, put your comments for the homework question in the comment section. Guys, do not forget that, right? And yes, with that's the end of the session today. So let's call it a day. Do not forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is a channel only and only for you on your demand, guys. So we need your support in this one as well. Just as you have supported us in the previous channel, do extend your support for this as well. So please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And also about Vedantu subscription, do not forget the steps that you need to follow. Choose your grade, choose your board, and details I have already mentioned. So please check it out, tally with it, and if you're satisfied, then yes, you have 3 types of subscription. So as I told you, if you take the 6-month subscription, that would be recommended because you pay less than what you pay each month when you pay, right? So yes, and it's not more than 9 to 10 rupee, which is even less costly than a packet of Lays, isn't that, guys? So yes, it's just meant for you, designed specifically to suit your needs. So yes, I would definitely recommend you to avail this opportunity, guys. Okay? So what you need to do in order to avail this wonderful opportunity, visit this link and use this coupon code SWREPRO. So thank you so much for watching. You can reach me out at any time, and do not forget to like and share and definitely comment on the homework question in the comment section. Till then, take care. Bye bye. See you again very soon in another amazing session.